Specifically, welcome to the Oxygen of Democracy.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah.
Great. Remember that this is an interactive program. There is a number on your screen, like you can see. You can use that to be part of the conversation later on. Time allowing, we should be able to open the phone lines, but also you can be a part and parcel of the conversation on our various platforms. We're coming to you live on Topstar Go TV, DSTV, Zuku, among others. We're also streaming this live on our social media handles. That's Prime Television Zambia on Facebook as well as YouTube. Head there, drop your questions, comments, and contributions. We will be glad, as always, to read out some of your submissions on the program tonight. Mr. Simuuwe, let's begin with home tonight, and by home I mean your party, the UPND, how it's faring in preparation for the 2026 general elections. We've got exactly 11 months before the 13th of August 2026. How is the UPND doing? I know that we've had quite a number of by-elections in the last 12 months, but how is the party generally doing in preparations for 2026?
Well, the party is doing fine. As you may be aware that UPND, having come from the opposition, is the most experienced political party in terms of electioneering. The only political party that braved the political storm under 3 to 4, almost 4 different presidents with different styles of leadership, different tricks with electioneering. So the experience that UPND comes with is so vast, and later on in government. So 2026 election is not any different. For those that believe it's different, is because for them they are still underdogs. UPND is very experienced on both sides, and UPND has tested itself in the government through by-elections, local government by-elections, over 105, let me say over 110. UPND scoops 98% of them. It's a record that you can never erase. Out of 8 parliamentary, scoops 7 of them. That is unthinkable for those that would want to learn politics. But I should make it very clear that even when it comes to party organization, when many people believe something strange is coming, UPND has had so many experiences. In some cases, we have changed members of parliament, we have changed council chairpersons, we have changed councillors. We have maintained certain MPs that have remained loyal to the party cause, and many of them have continued to expand their political tentacles to would-be politicians so that they can learn the art. And as I speak to you today, I can rest assure you that UPND still stands as the most organized political party. You have seen all political parties, what happens when they advertise for nominations, when they advertise for a convention. It is a bloodbath. UPND has had peaceful transitions in terms of nominations. The methodical approach to its internal political governance is reflected in government. How the government deals with policy issues, the framework on how to run the country by sector, is basically born from the manner with which the party has been administered. So, as far as we are concerned, the eyes are on the ball, and we are headed there. 2026 elections, understanding Zambia's political landscape, we anticipate perhaps more than 2/3 majority in parliament.
Isn't that interesting when you've recently lost some, local government election, Lukososhi in Pulungu, and not just losing, you've lost to relatively small new political parties. CF is relatively a new political party. NCP under Tonse, less than a year old. Isn't that embarrassing that the ruling party is losing to an establishment that is less than 12 months old?
You need first of all to understand the political dynamics. While you think about it as a loss, you need to also understand that in Northern Province alone, we have had about 17 by-elections. UPND has won 14. All of them belonged to the opposition PF. What you consider to be new is simply a nickname. We are basically talking about the same group, which is the Patriot Front. Hari Kalaba is PF. All those people that we are talking about, grouped together, talk about Fred Membe, they are PF. Remember that Fred Membe and Winter Kabimba at some point attempted to challenge Edgar Lungu at the convention. So you are basically dealing with nicknames. It's the same players that we are dealing with. UPND has actually garnered more seats. Is it not embarrassing that a once called a PF stronghold, you hold 17 by-elections, all of them belonging to PF, the seats, you lose 14?
Isn't that embarrassing that you lose to a new front?
No.
Instead of turning the tables, don't you think?
Perhaps.
Don't you think that
Perhaps.
it is embarrassing for the ruling party to lose these seats when you campaigned heavily in those areas?
Now look at this. It also depends on how you define the word new. You get an old bubble fish which is 6 months old in water, and because you've put it from the Zambezi River, you put it in a pond and you believe it is an offspring, that is self-deception. So I wish to indicate to you that the people that we are saying new, there is nothing new. I've talked about the parties as nicknames. That's why they can't jump beyond what you have seen. They have been tested before. Some of them have been ministers before. There is nothing that you can talk about which they left in the ministry worth admiring. There is no political record that you can talk about worth admiring. But again, I wish to mention to you that these are places once belonging to the opposition as their strongholds. Now, here is what you cannot say.
A loss is a loss, because that might feel like you are comforting yourself, Mr.
I like
Simuuwe, as a ruling party.
Yeah.
It seems like you are comforting yourself just because the seats belonged to the opposition and you've gotten the majority. You're not caring about the losses. The loss is a loss.
Now, following your words, a loss is a loss. And I'm saying they have lost all the 14. So a loss is a loss. We have lost 3.
You have also
so
lost.
So now, we are in the same term.
As a ruling party, as a party in power,
yes.
a party that claims to have delivered development, you shouldn't be losing these seats.
Now, this also demonstrates the entrenched democratic tenets adhered to by the UPND government, that you need to respect the aspirations of the people when they have to decide through the ballot. And also it goes to demonstrate the independence of the electoral system that we have. That where citizens believe that they have to vote for character B, they must be given an opportunity to elect a leader of their choice. Democracy and politics does not mean winning all the seats. I'm yet to see one political party that ever won all the seats in parliament. You may give me one in Africa. So what that means is that to be in a political game, you simply need to command the majority. And under the circumstances, out of 17, we command the majority 14. And UPND has never lost any single seat in that particular area. But we have gained more seats. Is it not surprising to you that even at the time UPND was in the opposition, you could see them winning a seat? Okay? But then the difference at that time was that the ruling party then used to panic a lot to the extent of killing or shedding blood in order to grab an election, even a seat that once belonged to them. So we are comforted by the fact that we have increased the number of members of parliament within the same term. We have increased the number of councillors within the same term. In the area where we never had an MP in Wapola, we have MPs there now. Meaning, it gives us hope that ahead of, we have a few months before, the people of Wapola have seen something that is different. And a number of them have made the decision based purely on CDF, among other projects.
Now, now, using your own words, you said, look, the good part with democracy is that people are free, to choose who they feel that will lead them. Some of these losses that you are recording, shouldn't that be an indication of what is likely to happen in the next 11 months? The party that you claim is a party of choice is likely to lose some seats, because like many of your politicians, you indicate that the by-elections are an acid test to what is to come.
Let me give you an example of Fred Membe. He said Lumezi will be a good test for the 2026 elections, and they lost. So, borrowing his words, we have a bright future as a party come next year. Then secondly, if we gauge ourselves by the manner with which we have performed in by-elections, I was telling you that we are over 90% win in putting all the by-elections together. 90%. Now, what is the indication to a party losing grip? Who could have been neck to neck? Then there should have been a one political party that should have commanded consistently a secondary position. Now, how were we able to know that PF was gone? UPND was not coming out third. They commanded the secondary position, and even when they lost, it was neck to neck. You get the point? So now, here is the flip side of the coin. In an area where UPND lost, I'll give you an example of Petauke. They lost in Petauke. In 2021, UPND got 1,500 votes. The one who won, who was JJ Banda, got 32,000 votes. The one who was following got 10,000, who was Dorasilia. Now, we go in a by-election. 3 years later, UPND gets more than 10,000 votes. The question you ask yourself is, if these registered voters voted in 2021 and they voted against UPND, making UPND get 1,500, where has the other number come from? It is the same people that voted for others, but now, having looked at the manner with which government has been managed under the UPND government, they now threw their weight on the UPND side. So, while you look at a loss, UPND knows that if we are in general elections, the performance of UPND in Petauke would be better. Because now, you have moved from 1,500 to more than 10,000. Now, those are the things we are looking at. Go in the same areas where UPND lost and look at the 2021 performance. That's how you gauge your performance. If numbers have been added, then we say, so from 100 something, now we are going over 500 in the same area, within a space of 400. While you look at it as a win or a loss is a loss, you must also look at the track record, where you are coming from. We would be worried as a political party if in 2021, all things being equal, you perform better, then this time you go down by a huge percentage, then you know you are gone. But the opposite is what we are enjoying, where the performance is clear on record that in the 2021, the numbers were low. When the voter turnout was very high, you get 1,500. When the voter turnout is low, you get over 10,000. So what would happen then if the voter turnout was big? It means you'd get more than 20,000. Now, these are the arithmetics that should be dealt with when you are dealing with politics.
Let's still on party matters, just before I escalate the conversation to national issues, but let's still clear out some of the issues happening within your ruling party. Your party seems, at this point, even as you prepare for the 2026 general elections, seems to be divided with varying statements from different officials from your party, including the party president, President Hakainde Hichilema. I would like to bring to your attention the words of President Hichilema during the send-off of the late Honorable Axon Sejani. He mentioned something very key in referring to the actions of Sejani when you're serving as Member of Parliament in Mapatizia. He said after serving a number of terms, he approached the president and said it is time to give room for other parliamentarians to go to Mapatizia. Let me give space to other people. The same words have been re-echoed by your deputy CEO, Gertrude Dimenda, asking some of those members of parliament who have served for quite some time to also give space to the new ones. That statement has not been received well. There's a statement coming in from your CEO now, Batuke Menda, saying no, that is not a position of the party. Isn't that worrying that amongst yourselves, you know, the Christians, indicate from the good book, the Bible, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Isn't that worrying? That there are different statements?
No, there is no division. Let me contextualize issues here. Here is a dead body of a person that has served the party, and then someone says there is something that we can draw as a lesson from this person lying here. One of them is that he did ABCD, and then he says, hope many of us can learn lessons. He's not making a pronouncement which is policy in nature. He's making a statement based on a person's lifestyle. Okay? So, from the president's position, there was no policy direction that this is what the party should do.
No,
in any case,
he mentioned
let me.
He actually mentioned.
You should watch the telecast again. Let me explain.
There's a video I can actually ask the viewers to see the video, because at the end he actually said that this should be a lesson to other politicians who kill just for adoption.
Now, this is what I'm saying, that he is giving an experience of Sejan. And then he says this should be a lesson from many of us. He is speaking as head of state. He's not making a pronouncement as policy for the party. There is only one policy making body in the party. It's the National Management Committee, which he chairs. And policies in the UPND are not born by the president making a pronouncement. I want you to be very careful. Making a pronouncement as head of state at party level. He does not make political pronouncement, which becomes policy at party level as head of state. He comes to chair the meeting as president of the party. And then the National Management Committee, which is the highest governing organ and policy making body, will make a policy that becomes enforceable in all the structures of the party. So, judging the president fairly, he's giving an example which we need to learn from the life of Sejani. Now, let's come to the issue that you raised. An organized entity will not let go of a statement, whether quoted correctly or misquoted, when it goes to the public, as in the case of our Vice Secretary General. An organized entity will not be shy to correct a position so that people are not misled. It is not a sign of confusion. It is a sign of being organized, that you put matters, because a pronouncement, if misconstrued, can obviously be implemented otherwise. So then you have the Secretary General, who is now in control of the structures, putting matters into context that this is how it should be. Then the party is guided accordingly. A disorganized political entity will be in a situation where a pronouncement is made that no, this person actually resigned from politics. I want to give you an example of confusion, organized confusion. You advertise a position because it is vacant. You even advertise that for you to vie for this position, nomination fee is 200,000. You call for people who want to be presidents. Then along the way, you say, no, we will not continue with the election. You wait a minute. We have heard someone wanting to return to politics. And then as that person is pronouncing, the people that are trying to now govern the electoral process of the party then begin saying, that one is Rewe de Lapo. Then eventually they say, what is this? Then can I have my money back? Why did you advertise? This person resigned from politics. No, you actually withdrew the resignation. So you don't seem to have a clear picture. Before you realize this person is president, tomorrow you find that there are 4 presidents. The next day you hear Dr. Chitaru is also claiming to be president. Now that is an indication of a disorganized entity. But where there is control, you'll have one person at the helm of the organization putting the record straight, and everything comes back to normal. Being a political party does not mean you will not be subjected to a situation where certain statements can be flipped and misunderstood.
Are you confirming that the statement of your deputy CEO was out of order? Are you confirming that, Mr. Simuuwe?
Exactly the point. So the point I'm trying to...
The statement of Getu Dimenda was out of order.
That's exactly the point. So the point I'm trying to address is that an organized entity will control its members regardless of the position that they hold. They will be reminded, and then they will say, oh, actually you had gone offside.
But what is wrong with that statement?
Let's come back.
Many people, Mr. Simuuwe, have argued what exactly is wrong with reminding some of the members of parliament who have said for a long time that, look, if possible, give room for other people. What is wrong with that?
Before you look at UPND, let me drive the position of the constitution. What is the status of the constitution of Zambia, which gives birth to the individual political parties? That a person can stand as many times as possible. If you want to come up with such a rule which contradicts the constitution, then you need to amend the main constitution of Zambia. Because you basically having a departure from what the constitution of Zambia provides. Do you know what that entails? If you take that policy position as a party, a member of parliament will sue you and will win in court. I want you to see how intelligent the team that governs UPND is. You block an individual, you make a pronouncement that becomes a party policy, that those that have contested 2 times or 3 times will not stand again, or they will not be adopted. They will go to court, to the constitutional court. And the constitutional court will use the constitution of Zambia.
One of the things many people have been saying about the UPND.
No, listen to this. Are you listening? Are you?
No, I've understood that point.
The point to the
Yes.
to the viewers is
Yes.
that the constitution of Zambia cannot be violated by a political party. And the SG is saying there is no such a position in the party, because it's basically trying to align what the party has agreed upon to confirm that the party moves in unison with the national constitution.
One of the things many people have said about the UPND is that intra-party democracy does not work. You gag people in your party. There's a fresh statement again from your CEO from the SG indicating, directing all those aspiring members of parliament in areas where they are sitting UPND MPs or councillors or mayors to desist from, launching their campaigns in that area. That, Mr. Simuuwe, you've been to law school, you understand that it goes against the tenets of democracy. People should be free to stand.
No.
People should be free to stand whether there's a sitting UPND member in that area or not. One of the things people have said is that your party does not promote intra-party democracy. Even the conventions that you've been having over the years, from the death of Anderson Gambela Mazoka, people have criticized your political party, and this maybe just confirms those criticisms.
Now let me take you back to the constitution. The constitution of Zambia has a time when parliament dissolves so that people can now go and contest. So is the UPND. The party has a tenure of office for office bearers, and it goes for the National Assembly, which you refer to as the General Assembly, which you refer to as a convention. How is the convention done? We have the electoral college, where you're first of the branch, but now the constitution was amended. We have what we call the polling station management committee as the lowest. Then you come to the branches. Then from the branches, you come to the constituency. So you have the polling station management committee. The polling station management committee is a structure of the UPND now, for those that may not know. So how is it formed? It has 44 members from the youth wing, 44 members from the women's wing, and 44 members from the main body, which basically forms a committee under the polling station management committee, bringing the total to 132. Now that polling station management committee will form the electoral college to elect those that want to aspire to be part of the branch. The branch forms the electoral college. I want you to understand
as you make that explanation.
I'm trying to respond to a question of intra-party democracy.
As you explain that point, also explain whether that constitution and that process stops people from expressing their intention to stand.
Now I'm coming. Yes, I'll deal with that. So it moves like that. The constituency forms the electoral college for the district, and now at the province the electoral college changes, because the province presides over the entire province. So you cannot get one district, because the province presides over all the districts in the province, the provincial committee. It will mean that the people that would want to contest, as the officials at the province, must get votes from each district. But you are not going to get in each district 44 because the number is big. So then the district comes and then it gives you the numbers. They've been revised. Maybe 6 from each district. Then you go from each constituency. Then from each district. Then you get 9 from each constituency. So when those vote, they form an electoral college. Now that is a democratic space, because
that doesn't answer my question.
No, I'm coming.
That explanation.
I'm coming to your question.
Let me remind you that
you've asked me.
That explanation, Mr. Simuuwe, does not answer my question. My question, and I want my question answered. My question is very clear. Where does your constitution stop people from expressing their intention to stand?
Now that was an additional question. I thought you were listening to yourself. You added that in answering this question, also answer that question you've asked.
Yes, but
so now I'm not done with the first question. Unless you want me to dump it, then I answer.
No, because the explanation is not responding to my question.
Now, I will tell you that you've asked me the first question, that there is no democracy in you. And many people have said that. So I'm answering. I'm building up. And then you interjected and said, in answering that question,
let's get to this. Let's get to a second question, because of time.
That's what you should say.
Yes, because of time, because that was not satisfactory to me.
Because I was not done
in responding.
The question.
Where does your constitution stop people from expressing their intention to stand?
Now, first of all, the question should be, does the policy that has been put in place in conflict with the constitution of the party? Not at all. So what the constitution of the UPND has done, it will not provide details on how you arrive at the people to be adopted. What it has done is that it has given preliminary information, but then vests the procedure and processes in the National Management Committee. Now the National Management Committee in a way is like Parliament. Parliament will make acts of Parliament or subsidiary legislation to regulate conduct of citizens in Zambia. The Ratsa Act, Public Order Act. But all the acts or laws that Parliament is enacting should not be in conflict with the National Constitution. Similarly, the decision that has been made by the National Management Committee is within their mandate as a policy-making body. And there's no provision which says in the Constitution that immediately you put people, you can campaign from the beginning of the term up to the end. There's not such a provision. So now the point is that that particular Constitution is not violated. Because the part of the question you was asked is questioning the powers vested in the National Management Committee. It's within its mandate.
My question, Mr. Smoe, and I want you to please answer this.
Yes.
There are many people out there
who
are following and want to get this thing clear.
Yes.
Where does your policy, where does your constitution stop people from expressing their, if Paul today wants to stand as mayor in Lusaka under the UPND, and I want to interact with the residents of Lusaka, for them to know when the time comes for adoption, you should also know that I'm on ground and I'm available to save you. Where does your constitution stop people from doing so?
The constitution stops people from doing so through the policy-making body.
No, you're not answering my question, Mr. Small.
No, you're not.
No,
Why are you missing it?
No. Can you quote a part of your constitution that stops people from expressing their intention to stand? Just expressing their intention to stand as mayor, as a councillor. And you see, one of the conflicting parts of that statement from the SG is that in areas where sitting UPND MPs are, but in other areas where PF or other opposition go ahead and campaign. What a contradiction.
Now I'll explain to you. When you say there's a contradiction, give me which part of the UPND.
You fail to give me a part of your constitution that stops people.
The question you're asking is like you're asking someone that, tell me where the constitution of Zambia provides how we should run the elections. That's how you're asking.
Tell me a part of the constitution. Each other, this is a child in diapers. There's no way he can come over in Sesheke to be an MP. Do you know what you're doing to the party?
So now, that's a good question. To flip this question in answering it, I will ask you, do you think what you are giving as an example is a shock to you? Is it a surprise?
You should be. You're in a better position to answer that question.
Now, so, you seem shocked. Now, if you seem shocked and you brought a question of a shock, guidance is provided by the party itself. By which body? The supreme body of the party. And what is the guidance? No one is allowed to campaign in an area where we have an elected official. Doesn't that cement the... Now, what that is doing...
Doesn't that cement the criticism that has been placed on UPND over the years that you do not promote intra-party democracy?
No, we've done it before. This is a new guideline. It is as old as before 2021.
There's never been such a directive on UPND. Because for your information, this is a new directive.
You've never been there.
I've been in this country.
Now, listen, let me tell you.
I've done follow of current affairs.
Listen.
There's never been such a directive.
No, but you wouldn't know the policies of the UPND Management Committee until they have been published. Okay? Until they've been, because you've never sat there. I sit there myself. So until they've been published.
So you've never published these, but they've been there.
So this is the first time that you are seeing us using even a national television to publish, because at that time it was not fashionable to do so. But members of the party, including MPs who are there, they do know that the policy, we've just reactivated.
2021.
That is why if
2021,
did you look at the statement by the SG?
Yes,
he said he referred to the old policy position of the NMC in 2020.
That's a contradiction, because in 2021 we had several seats, including Choma Centrum, as a Buka, where we have names of aspiring people that were also campaigning to be adopted in different areas in the country, and there was no such statement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you've never been in the NMC, you would not know. You have known that there is such a statement because it has been published. So I'm trying to tell you that before 2021 elections, that statement was made very clear until the window was opened now for people to aspire. And people now started aspiring. Now, that is, you have not asked yourself why UPND has no dramas we are seeing where people today
because
are together.
You gag people.
Listen to this.
Maybe that's a reason.
Democracy.
You gag people.
No, it's not gagging. Gagging is the wrong term, and it's on the extreme side. But it's guided democracy. Okay? Guided democracy. You see, you will not have a situation where people come here and have a press conference and then say, this one from today has been expelled. Following day, another one. If that's what you call democracy, that is organized confusion. And that is why you can't see what in UPND what you are seeing in other political parties. Where today you find Chavinga says, I'm the president. Tomorrow, Mao Sampa is handing over the presidency to ECL. The other day you said, Ruvinda, I'm the acting president. Why you don't see it is because it's organized. You will not have a situation where 30 people are aspiring to be presidents, and none of them is willing to work under the other. And because you are like an octopus, all the legs are moving in different directions. You can't move. You move this direction, you come this side. You have a situation because you have a situation where Fred Membe, because Fred Membe has been in PF, so he has the same characteristics. He moves from the other side. He goes and joins the Tonsil. When the following date backfires, he runs to alliance to the, what do you call the other alliance? United Kwacha? He runs to Kwacha on the following day. And then the other guy said, no, Sean Tembo wakes up and says, that was an illegal meeting Fred had with the following people. And you start wondering what's going on. Now, you will not see such kind of activities in the UPND. You will find guidance. And guidance not from an individual, but by a governing body. Chaired by who? By the president.
So those out there aspiring to stand in the different capacities,
so when I go in that
should wait until the last 3 months before August 13th?
Yes, because what happens in the national constitution is that when parliament dissolves, they will definitely say, now we declare all the seats vacant. People are now ready to showcase what
meanwhile,
they have.
Those in other areas where they are opposition, they've been campaigning, they've been...
Now let me tell you, the other part of the statement you didn't read is that there are also independent members who are working with the UPND.
I've read
it's a political strategy.
Just because I've not mentioned doesn't mean I've not read.
No, because you're giving an example of, but those seats held by the opposition, people should go and campaign. Yes, we want to grab the seats. And you can't wait for them, because we have no reason for waiting for an opposition leader, an opposition MP. We want to grab the seat. So immediately we formed government in 2021, my brother. We told those that were aspiring, go to the ground, or those that stood, start now until this person, is knocked out. And it is yielding fruits. That's why in some places we are grabbing seats at parliamentary level. It's not that we've just started. Then we amended also the constitution. Initially, the constitution of the party required that if you want to aspire as a parliamentary candidate, you must have been maybe in the party, at least as a card holding member for 3 years. We amended the constitution and said, even if someone becomes a member today, we know that is very popular, we must adopt him. You know what? Because UPND is methodical. We understand plural politics. That's how we managed to get Chipokamulenga. That's why we managed to get Kabuswe. Very intelligent brains. That's how we managed to get even Mushindamo Council chairperson. Mushindamo Council chairperson was PF. We knew he was popular. We were watching. And one of the things that the National Management Committee did was that let us watch those areas which are commanded by the opposition. The moment we see someone who is popular, sometimes more popular than what we are floating, can we have an opportunity and reach out to that person and get them? Because these political parties are mere clubs.
I was
But we have
yeah,
one country.
I was in Monze, just came back yesterday, Mr. Simuuwe.
What are you doing there?
For the Chikunio Tonga Music Festival. I enjoy the music, but I also
But do you
interacted.
understand Tonga?
Very much I do.
Okay.
One of the things that I don't have to understand Tonga to enjoy the music, by the way, but I do
It
understand
also
anyway.
depends on what you dance to. Others dance to the tune. Some of us would want to dance to.
But I also interacted with some of the aspiring members of parliament in Monze who want to grab Jack Mwimbo's seat. One of the things, no, I'm not mentioning their names. One of the things they were saying is that we feel sidelined. Why should they shut our mouth? We also want to stand. Why should one person be there for 20 years, 25 years? Why should the party stop our mouths? A number of them, I was interacting with them and they didn't mention that. Maybe you need this feedback as a party.
We will not believe you because we were not part of the conversation. We were not there. So, and because we don't know them. So how will
there are over 5 aspiring?
So how will the people that are watching believe in us when they were not there? So perhaps it should just be a question. What of areas where there are more than 5 aspirants? Yes, every club has rules. If they are popular, the time will come when they are going to prove themselves. But they should not disturb the running of the party so that it becomes like Tonse or Kwacha Alliance, where every day they are fighting in the press.
Let's get to
UPND is run differently.
Let's get to other matters away from the party. We have 11 months before we get to the polls. What makes you believe that you will not go the route of Malawi, where the incumbent is, according to statistics, almost on the way out? Official results are yet to be given, but Peter Mutharika seems to be getting back on the seat. Chakwera seems to be a one-term president. What makes you believe that President Hakainde Hichilema will not be a one-term president, like Kenyans are saying about Ruto, that is a one-term president, when the challenges that people are going through are evident in their eyes? Load shedding, the high cost of living, the high levels of corruption, scandals, and in the Ministry of Health, among others. Why should the UPND be re-elected into office?
Now, you need to understand geopolitics. Okay? If you do not understand geopolitics, you'll be misled. In the first place, this massive recruitment in the education sector you are seeing in Zambia is not there in Malawi. The free education from grade 1 to 12 that you are seeing is not there. CDF 36.1 million you are seeing in Zambia is not there in Malawi. The revamped mining sector, in any case, it's not a mining country. The revamped mining sector, where things have been reversed, the mining sector had completely collapsed. Copper production, which is our traditional export that gives us the forex that we need, shrunk. It's not there in Malawi. The revamping of making Zambia house the biggest nickel mine is not happening in Malawi. Malawi is dependent on Zambia on the bumper harvest. It's not happening there. We export to Malawi. So you can have the answer in terms of the political dynamics. Zambia has performed in the fight against corruption under Transparency International. Not Transparency International Zambia, Transparency International. The first area, we were somewhere around 45 in the ranking. Now we've come to 39. What made us reach there at the number 39? It is because of institutional reforms. Some of them can be cited. The judicial reforms. Fast track court for economic and financial crimes court. Not just arresting people and sentencing them, but recovering the assets to justify the arrest. That there are these assets that could not easily be accounted for. You will not find certain things there. Let me further mention to you that we have been exporting much. Now we have a bumper harvest that the whole region is looking up to. And part of the potential buyers are from Malawi, Tanzania, DRC, Zimbabwe, and Botswana, Namibia. If you saw the Namibian government sending a delegation to come and learn more about the CDF and how we are administering it, then you have a story to tell for the country. You may wish to also understand that the majority voters in Zambia are youths. So what has the government of the UPND done for the youths? The 200,000 youths that graduated in vocational training colleges, in skills training, in carpentry, welding, fish farming, tailoring, and repair of heavy-duty machines, you will not find that information in Malawi. You won't find it. Market booster loans of over 74,000 women benefiting across the country, you won't find it. The credit facility under SAF is one of its kind. Cash for work is a new term in SADC region. You won't find it there. Then you have the answer on the type of electorates that you are dealing with and the dynamics that may exist. Should we go for post?
Do you acknowledge some of the challenges?
We acknowledge the challenges.
The Zambians are going
I agree
right
with you. There is load shedding in the country. But the question that you ask yourself is, how did we get here? And how can we come out of it? Here is how we got into this place. If for a very long time the country has planned for alternative source of energy, understanding we attended so many summits on climate change, if we had put in place alternative source of energy, we wouldn't be where we are today after that waste drought that we experienced. 97% of the power that we are using in Zambia is hydropower generated. And because it was pronounced a crisis which also affected the farmers, we can all agree that if 97% of the electricity we are using is by water, then we need at least even 50% or 60% of the power to be green energy, solar. But it's not a plug and play kind of affair. You need to do installations. I'll give you an example of the Chisamba one. First of all, who provides electricity to this country? It is ZESCO. In what state did we find ZESCO? ZESCO had collapsed. It was owing over $1.6 billion. You may recall that the president had to recall his working leave and went to engage Mamba Collieries, which was owed $500 million. Today, after Mamba Collieries has been paid, they can now set up a new plant which will produce 300 megawatts, meaning it has been empowered. Then government has now managed to pay over $1 billion which ZESCO was owing, making ZESCO stand again and have the bargaining power to engage with other cooperating partners. As we speak today, ZESCO now is able to negotiate with China Power to set up solar plants as one that you have seen in Chisamba, 100 megawatts. Another one is coming. You saw in Mumbwa, they are already mentioning. Another one is coming up, soon to be installed. It has been complete. You'll have another one at Kariba North Bank. You'll have another one in Kafio Gorge, and it stays. Now, that is what we should have been doing as a country many, many years ago, the moment we heard about climate change. But because there was no deliberate policy to respond to the realities of climate change, we found ourselves where we are. Some have
said that, look, yes, they acknowledge some of these interventions.
So we acknowledge that, my brother,
yes.
There is load shedding. And load shedding has devastating effects on the country. Now we are not looking for short-term solutions because they will not help us as a country. We have to look for long-term solutions. That is why the president, through his team, is coming up with net metering. We need to unpack ZESCO and bundle ZESCO.
All the interventions are long-term.
Yeah, so here's the advantage. The advantage is that we are asking for a permanent solution such that when we are confronted with a similar situation of a drought, we'll never go to this problem again. Here is where we are. Net metering, by changing policy, you have a policy shift to allow for poor, where he has the capacity to join the national grid and just sell to ZESCO, even if it's 20 kVA or 10 kVA, and then earn a living out of it, meaning you are also empowering citizens indirectly. Then the next thing that you do, you look at other countries that are developed technologically and they have a lot of industrialization like China. They have different sources of electricity, namely refuse, ifishala.
But you know, I'm
coming there.
Yes,
then I'm sure you saw
many development experts would actually argue with you in project management.
I'm happy you are bringing that.
You do
so
not.
that we deal with it now,
you do not plan and only introduce solutions that will yield results in the long term. You also look at the short term, medium term. When you say the interventions will only yield results in the long term, development experts will be laughing at this strategy, because the Zambians right now are only seeing power for 3 hours. Businesses are affected. It might interest you to know that for us to come live right now, we are using a genset. The operational costs, and this is just an example of many other businesses. In my conversations with the members of management, including the MD, that's one of the many issues bringing headache to many entrepreneurs out there. The high cost of doing business. And here you are telling the Zambians that the solutions are long-term, meaning they have no hope in the short term.
Now the question should be, do we have short-term solutions?
You've already told the Zambians, Mr. Simuuwe, that the solutions are long-term.
Now, I'm demonstrating to you. We're not done with the interview. The question is, do we have short-term solutions or mid-term solutions? Yes, we do. The short-term...
You've gone against your words.
No,
you've gone against your words. Maybe it's important to acknowledge that aspect, because you did say that...
if you're going to have an interview...
I'm also holding you accountable to what you're saying. It's very important for you to be accountable for what you're saying.
But I want to benefit the viewer, to give them hope, because we are saying...
So that has changed now.
No, nothing has changed. I want to benefit the viewer there by demonstrating that these long-term programs will mean we'll never go back to this problem. Should you be confronted with the same problem? So what short-term programs were announced by the government, which the citizens are aware of? Number one, government had undertaken to import part of the power from Mozambique as a short term, because power is expensive. Secondly, government undertook to install some big gensets at government cost, very costly, in some strategic areas where SMEs are found in markets. But the question is, are those sustainable? They are not. But why are they being put in the short term? Because short-term solutions stand for a short term, as per name. Mid-term, you could be talking to maybe 5 to 15 years. So now, in a way, that could also be long-term, depending on the type of investment that you're talking about. You've heard from the president during his address to the National Assembly that the first project took 10 months. We are working towards this next project very soon. I'll be going to commission that it should take 7 months. Meaning we are cutting down on the months. But it should also be made very clear that certain solutions cannot come overnight. Then we are deceiving ourselves. We must be sincere to citizens, as much as we want to play politics, to tell them that this is a problem which has come, and it has come. What is government doing? This is what I've outlined. Government is doing something about it. But it should also be made very clear that it's not a plug and play kind of affair. If you deceive citizens that tomorrow there will be power, all of you will be connected, you'll be doomed.
Well, those statements have come before.
Now, I'll give you an example.
By June, the load shedding is done.
I'm aware
and
that
there are many videos out there that we can show to the public. And the Zambians have believed those from cabinet ministers, by the way.
Now, listen. I'm aware of Zambezi River Authority statement of August, that by August we may start relaxing. And I was interacting with the ZESCO public relations officer on the same. That we got information initially that from Zambezi River Authority that by August, they're saying, okay, the understanding there is that within Lusaka, not everywhere, there are compounds. She mentioned compounds which I will not mention here because we are having a media energy engagement on Thursday. I'm sure you've seen the advert already. Okay? A media energy engagement program. It's a deliberate program by the UPND media team where we want to get people from ZESCO at Radisson Blue. We get the media and they ask serious questions. Give us what will happen. There will be technocrats like engineers there. Yes, you understand the water levels. What does this translate into? We are anticipating a full rainfall, season, a rain season. Does it give us hope in addition to what government is putting in place? How long should we wait? Those are questions that will be dealt with exhaustively. The other point that I want to bring out is that you may wish to know that we have brought as many cooperating partners so that we increase on the number of players that are generating power. We don't leave it to ZESCO, which was suffocated by the debt burden. So far, before this recent one, ZESCO signed about 29 MOUs with different companies out of about 31. And the recent energy program that the president had after the artisanal program, again brought on board many companies, both local and foreign, to sign different MOUs. What is the strategy? What is the government trying to achieve? Government is trying to address a problem. There is a problem. All of us admit.
In trying to address that problem, you are aware that government is still exporting power. The Secretary to Cabinet in Namibia came through, met a Republican Vice President, thanked, and using his words, says, we are aware that you have this challenge in Zambia, but we are happy and grateful that you still are exporting to us. A good parent would prioritize the interests of their children first before giving the neighbors the food. We are lacking this power, yet this government is busy exporting.
Now, so after that particular visit, I'm sure you heard that the chief government spokesperson had a press conference in which he announced how much power was recorded from Namibia. Because
are we still are we still exporting power to Namibia?
That is information that is subject to verification. So the chief government spokesperson after that had a press conference.
Mr. Simuuwe, power is still being exported to Namibia. Are you saying you're not aware?
No, listen. I'm saying the chief government spokesperson announced on the amount of power that was recorded from Namibia.
Yeah. We didn't stop at all. We just reduced. Yes.
And those that may want to find facts because they have their phones, they can actually check on Google to verify the information that I'm submitting. So what I cannot do is to add or subtract what has been given as an official position. That's how.
Are we still exporting power to Namibia?
There is no official position unless you have one.
Yes, Namibia confirmed.
No, I'm saying
that aspect.
I'm saying after the visitation.
Zambians would like to know. Some of them are watching. They don't have smartphones. They've seen the ruling party's media director on TV. He must clarify to the public. Are we still exporting power?
Now, I've told you that.
Or that is a different question.
Now, listen. I've told you that there was a visit.
The answer, Mr. Simuuwe, should be yes or no, whether we're exporting power or not.
It's not a cross-examination in court. It's an interview.
It's an interview.
So the interviewee gives answers. The role of the interviewer is to ask questions. So unless you want to be both, then I'll give you an opportunity.
Are we still exporting power?
No. In the interim, this is the position, the official position. I'm giving you an official position. You are an interviewer wanting to push an unofficial position. So the official position has been that the chief government spokesperson announced that we have record some power.
Some, okay.
Yes. From the export. They were caused by different players that let government use the force
majeure.
Yes. Under the circumstances, because you have different agreements in the region, and now there is the southern power pool which has been established, where all presidents met in Tanzania, including your president, to discuss energy there, because it's a crisis in the whole Africa now, where Zambia will be now throwing part of the power in the southern pool, so that negotiating for countries that have a crisis is very easy.
Some powers record. So
yes.
We are still,
so now there is no
exporting.
official. Yeah. Now let me cement by there is no other official position from government suggesting that we are exporting power.
Government has not refuted we being able to export power, and we currently there's not been that statement.
Yeah.
Currently.
So the point is that government has not been asked a question and they have given an official position that there is nothing or there is something.
That is not very clear.
Now I'm saying when you say government has not refuted, who asked them? We are in an interview, so I'm saying this is the official position. Right now, right now there is no official position that we are exporting.
No, that is not
so
the case.
We don't want to assume.
That is not the case.
We don't want to assume.
That is not the case because
what should be the case? You want us to conclude the way the others are assuming who are not officials from ZESCO?
No.
So now we are saying the very fact that there is no official position.
The official position, as the last communique from the chief government spokesperson,
yes,
we've recorded some.
Yes.
Meaning we're still exporting some.
No, but that is
so has there been another?
When we say meaning we are still exporting some. Who says that? So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
This
English
is now.
to
This
comprehend.
is now. Yeah. In fact, that's where I understand more. So I'm saying we cannot fill in the black the.
So you can't state here right now whether we are exporting power
There
or
is
not.
no official position of further exports after that statement was made. So until an official position is made that we are exporting, we are not going to make a conclusion. So because what causes uncoordinated statements is to come here and say what has not been.
The Minister of Energy last night was on one media platform indicating that, look, we have done well. We have areas where people are experiencing 10 hours of power.
That's true.
Which areas are those?
You're not aware that within Lusaka, like I mentioned, that there are certain parts that have already been connected, and they are confirming. Some of them are confirming they are now having 9 hours power. For
Which
example,
areas
I visited,
are those?
No, there are parts, for example, of there are parts. Chalala is quite big. I've confirmed of a place where they're getting 9 hours.
Which place is that?
Okay, Chalala area. There are parts in Chalala, okay, where people are getting 9 hours of power, but not all the areas. That's what I was saying. On the Thursday, when we meet in the engagement, because I've also conferred with the ZESCO PRO, I've told the ZESCO PRO that, you know what, instead of us giving a generic, before we are following, instead of us giving a generic statement, because in some parts of the country, load shedding is worse. That's what I told him. Some of them can even go the whole day without power. That's what I told her. So when I told her that, she said, yes, I hear you. So I said, from our media point of view, as a party, media team, we would want to host ZESCO. We want you to tell citizens which areas have increased power supply and reduced load shedding. So now we want to keep that particular discourse in details so that we don't create a platform. So at least
now we've had two areas. You've mentioned Chalala, the Minister of Energy last night.
Not the entire Chalala.
Some parts of Chalala are experiencing 9 hours of power.
So on Thursday, my brother, we are promising citizens. So on Thursday, this same media director, together with his team, will be hosting ZESCO, and journalists will be there. So we'll not issue a statement that will be refuted on that day. So what will come on that day will be an official statement that citizens can take. So that is a promise that we give them. And then more hope will be given to them, because this is something that is obviously being put together. We just have, today is what, Tuesday?
Today is Monday.
Today is Monday. We have 2 days or 3 days before we get to Thursday, and then we'll have this program backed at Red Sun Blue. And we're inviting you, you may not be in the newsroom, to come and ask the same question that I was interviewing the gentleman. We want to know whether we are putting any power, then we can get an official position.
Yes, so just joining us, this is the Monday edition of Oxygen of Democracy. My guest is the UPND Media Director, Mark Simuuwe. Democracy and development under the microscope is what we look at on the program tonight. We are happy that you are a part and parcel of the conversation. I've seen quite a number of comments on our Facebook page, that's Prime Television Zambia. The time allowing, before we close, we should be able to respond to some of the questions being asked, but also don't forget that you can also go to our YouTube platform, Prime TV Zambia, and drop your comments there, and be glad to hear from you. One key aspect that the country has been talking about, and even as we prepare to get to the elections, Mr. Simuuwe, has to do with a thorny, emotive subject called tribalism. Many Zambians detest this because of how divisive it is. At some point, there was even an inquiry formed just to establish the voting patterns. That's how serious this conversation is in this country. Even as we get to elections, these conversations still keep on coming on board. Recently, we had the Road Transport and Safety Agency CEO, Mr. Mwemba, heard in a leaked phone conversation talking about this particular subject, promoting some region. This list, I keep on rejecting. Zambia is not from northern. Zambia is not from eastern alone. Until the right people are on this list, I'll keep on rejecting. What is your reaction as the UPND over that? Because it has angered some Zambians out there who by now want to believe that we're making progress in this regard.
Thank you very much. First of all, the the question should be, what is the UPND position in the opposition and up to the time that they formed government, the UPND New Dawn government? The president has been very consistent, first of all, by demonstrating that we can have a cabinet that represents all the regions, not one region. He has demonstrated. And in demonstrating, out of 8 nominated members of parliament, I'll give you an example. I hope you are following closely. Out of 8 nominated members of parliament, which power is given by the constitution to undertake, the president realized that UPND, for example, never had MPs in Luapula. He realized that we never performed well in Luapula, Northern, and these other areas. So what did he do? Because UPND believes in regional balancing, not one region. He decided to nominate 50% from the Northern Bloc so that he could balance up. And this is the cabinet we have. That's how he did it. As a believer of national integration. Part of the song that he has been singing from the opposition, that we are all created in the image of God. Later on, we got to ministries. He started picking. All the regions are represented. You go to embassies. All the regions are represented. How did you do it? I'll give you an example. The only president. I think I've never said this, but I have to say it. Each province was asked to submit 6 names. Each province was asked to submit 6 names. I've never seen this from the time I was born. I was seeing it for the first time. And when each province was asked to submit 6 names, as we are speaking today, 3 names have gone into foreign missions. Something that people never knew. How did I know about it? I think it's important that certain things are contextualized. The moment the president was declared a winner, he asked me, go and meet Dr. Miti. Go and let him give you a list of all embassies in the world, in the country. All the embassies that Zambia has, missions in the world. And Dr. Miti, wherever he is, religiously, I had to write under the hand of the Secretary General, gave us a list of all the 40 embassies, 25 active ones. Then he went further and said, now coordinate. Each province must submit those names. Then we can now start. And among those names, 2 must be youths. 2 should be women. Then 2 generically anywhere there. As I'm speaking to you today, 3 from each province went into foreign mission. And today, as we speak, each province again is asked to recommend people to be appointed as DCs. You know that that's the power of the president to undertake. If you go to Luapula, all the DCs are coming from there. That's what he did. I want you to understand. If you go to Eastern, all the DCs are coming from there. If you go to Northwestern, all the DCs are coming from there. If you go to Southern, Western, all the DCs are coming from there. He's done. Are we done? Yes. The next point I want to tell you is that we understand the animal called UPND and the way we view national cohesion. Go to recruitments. I'm aware that the president has rejected many lists for recruitments. Because some lists did not represent other regions. He said, why would I have that number there? You can't tell me there are no teachers in Wapula. And we are not going to sign this until I see the record. That's your head of state. Until he saw that it is a list, then he said, how will the people of Zambia look at us? We publish a document of teachers coming only from the east, because in Eastern we have some MPs. You leave out Central. What will the people say about the Swati people?
So I'm a member was right.
So now, no, wait a minute. I want to give you the context first of all, so that we separate what people
I
are
mean,
doing.
want of time, yes.
I'm winding up, but it's important that the citizens get what makes sense than us rushing to the end of the program by asking many questions which are half answered. So, at that point, then people appreciated that. I think the president means well. The president means well. Then the next thing that we saw, we can now publish names of teachers and health workers, and nobody has ever lifted a hand and say, why is it that all these teachers are coming from all the regions? For the first time, I was talking to Chief Mulilo of Muchinga, who told me that for the first time I last saw such a thing under KK. Though under KK we had the few grade 12s or Form 12 or Form 2 who are qualified. I'm seeing this for the first time in my chiefdom. I'm hearing they are soldiers, they are nurses, they are doctors. This is the country that we wanted to create under the UPND leadership. Now, do we subscribe to what happened in that audio? We don't.
You don't subscribe to that?
We don't, as a party, and the government either would not subscribe. I know they have not yet given a position, but I know they will. If not chief government spokesperson, maybe the president to give. Where we end, we don't subscribe to that comment, because it is a clear departure from what the president and the party stands for. We are not going to idolize what is wrong. What is wrong is wrong.
Will the law catch up with him?
It also depends on which law you have to quote.
Kambwili is in for making similar statements.
No, Kambwili is in because he went straight to demonize a particular tribal grouping. So we need to get the two and listen to both. If people are being demonized and said, those abantu babi mutima, makula mfwa fiefi, and all those things. So you must be very clear. And we need to approach these matters with a clear conscience, neutral conscience. Then we'll make the right judgment, and all of us agree that it is wrong. And we have to condemn it.
If you don't subscribe to this as a party,
yes,
then you will not hesitate to call upon the applicable laws to deal with such.
What we do not want at the end of the day also is to bring in politics ourselves. We deliberately decided not to issue a statement because it involved a civil servant. Said the government has its own ways and systems in place of dealing with such issues. If we are going to go in, we need to calculate. How does a political party control an institution? So let us allow government to undertake its own procedural activities.
One of the things,
but again, I think we have made the point clear. Thank you.
You do not condone that. That's the most important aspect. I'd like to get your views on this. Currently, world leaders are gathering in the US for the UN General Assembly. Our own has decided not to be part of this meeting and has delegated to the Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Mlambwa Mbe. Why do you think the president has decided to abscond this important gathering of world leaders?
First of all, perhaps abscond would be a wrong term because Zambia is participating. So how does the country participate? The country participates through the head of state or an assigned minister.
Why has he decided to delegate? Why not go there
the president is not obliged to make an explanation on which minister he sends to attend the function.
No, why he himself, he hasn't gone
This is
there.
what I'm saying, that the law allows him to do that. There are many presidents that have done that, okay, who have decided to send foreign affairs ministers, except most of the time we want to raise eyebrows because maybe the opposition have said so. Zambia is not absent. Zambia is represented. And when the statement is read by the minister, it is a speech delivered by HH but delivered by the minister. That is why, I'll give you an example. That is why the presidential speech can be delivered even by the DC as long as they've been assigned. So now, it is the same usual debate that we want to have, which will not bring food on the table. For my mother in Chibolia,
yeah, certain,
and then you want to
that mother in Chibolia understands that certain meetings.
Someone thinks that we are absent. We are not. We are not. We are not absent. We are there.
Yeah, but the president is not there.
You had a meeting which was held a summit here in Zambia. Some presidents sent ministers. We held a summit there. from the Standing Committee of Permanent Secretaries on State and Official Functions, a few heads of state confirmed attendance. Okay? I think we anticipated more than 19 countries to participate because we've been hosting summits. And out of that number, I think about 5 or 6 heads of state confirmed attendance. Others decided to send either a vice or a minister. It is permissible under international law. The point is, my brother, no law has been broken.
No law has been broken. Others
now,
others
what we are discussing are non-issues.
Others, no, that's a very important issue, and you shouldn't trivialize it, Mr. Simuuwe.
No, from what international law perspective,
you will not reduce, you will not trivialize this very important aspect. The president is put in office by the same people you want to say are trivializing this subject.
When you introduce,
to represent,
when you introduce the word trivial. The UN Charter itself does not consider it trivial because it allows for that.
Exactly. So,
and it provides for that.
This conversation, you will not allow.
In other words,
you will not allow you to call it trivial. That's one of the things
I'm saying. Using the word trivial to say that we are trivializing it would be a wrong term. But the point I'm trying to say is that the UN Charter.
You are saying this is a non-issue. It's an important issue.
What makes it a non-issue is that the conversation we're having is a non-issue because the UN Charter takes care of what we are doing and what the President HH.
Others, Mr. Simuuwe, have also said why not utilize the Vice President.
Now let me give you an example. Let me give you also another example. Previously, you had a situation where the President charters a plane, and then he carries even those that hold the broom to New York. The next day, you saw them playing in water using taxpayers' money. Part of what he has been talking about is to reduce the delegation. I'll give you an example. There are a lot of things in the country that are going on. They're talking about load shedding. Today, if the president left, there could have been another conversation. Is it right for the president to leave for New York with a huge delegation, spending taxpayers' money, and yet there's load shedding? The same people could have been talking about that. Now, do you know? I'll ask you a question. Do you know how much it costs to fly the head of state, and what
is that the reason why?
No, that's not the reason.
Is delegated because that the Zambians know the cost associated with that. But I wanted to understand, Mr. Simuuwe.
I bemoan that. Yes. I haven't finished the statement. I haven't finished the statement. I wanted to make a point.
Go ahead.
The moment I started, just jumped in.
Go ahead.
I'm saying part of what he has done as a president is to reduce on the delegation, and even the number of media houses that are carried are very few. Because it's a cost when he travels. And when he travels for the right cause, he will have side meetings. And when he has gone there, you've seen him interact with different presidents. And what is he clinching? Pushing for debt restructuring. You could see him belaboring, having so many meetings. And the meetings have yielded fruits.
Great. Thank you for that explanation. Great. Very good for the country.
Yes.
Second time now, Mulamba Imbe is representing the president at the UN General Assembly for information. And others are saying, what is wrong with the vice president? There's a hierarchy in cabinet in terms of who represents the president at certain events. What is wrong with the vice president being sent there?
Now, there's nothing wrong. Look, first of all, this is a foreign affairs issue. Okay? So when you're dealing with foreign affairs, that's why I gave you an example that we had so many summits here. Many presidents sent foreign affairs ministers. So to come and attend, many presidents. So it's a foreign affairs minister. If it's a defense issue, where heads of state are meeting, the president can decide to send a minister of defense.
There are many conversations taking place beyond foreign affairs. There's health, there's agriculture.
No. What I'm saying is that presidents are availed because there is a build-up. The UN is not just about the heads of state meeting. Build-up started many days earlier. There are also members of parliament that have gone already. Okay? I'm aware of Honorable Muchima, he's that side. Honorable Twambo has just left this evening. Okay? The UN General Assembly, and even in Parliament itself, which is another organ of the state, is also very careful on which MPs should go to negotiate.
The leader of government business in National Assembly is not being sent there. That should be a source of concern, actually.
No. But the point we are saying is that it's because we want to tilt a conversation in order to create a subject where there should not be a subject. But the point I'm trying to drive home is that many countries have it's a foreign affairs. You should have sent foreign affairs ministers. Okay? So,
Many countries, by the way, have sent it's their presidents. 70% of the participating countries is the heads of state.
Yeah,
there.
but even if it became 60%, there's nothing wrong with that, according to the UN Charter. But for us, we want to have a conversation as if there's something wrong. We must quote the UN Charter and say we have violated the UN Charter.
And yet,
Yes.
a paradox also. And yet, there's a conversation. Maybe you're the media director. I'm sure you can speak. You can speak on this. There's a conversation around the funeral of VCL and the family not wanting the president to be there. That is the board of contention that they do not want. It was a wish of VCL for President Hichilema not to be part of the funeral. That one he cannot delegate. The UN General Assembly he can delegate. Any other meeting he can delegate. The funeral himself, he must be there.
Now, I think we've passed that stage of debating whether HH...
ECL has not been buried, so there's no way you can say we've passed that stage.
That's what I'm saying. You haven't heard me speak. We've passed that stage of debating whether the president should attend or not. We are now at the stage of the two parties discussing. There was a statement which was issued to the effect that we will only allow official positions on how far the conversation is going. We will only allow the secretary to the cabinet to give an official position to the country. Citizens were excited. And of course, we all know that many citizens are tired. They should have anticipated an announcement soon as the conversation took effect that we have now reached a consensus. I know that there are many mediators that have been drawn from the region, who may include some former first families, to see to it that we reach that logical conclusion. But at the same time, I know that people are getting so tired that on a daily basis they are revamping conversations. I do not see anybody who would say, I think we are tired. We've not seen such a thing. And many people are asking questions. I think as early as this morning, I could see some of my members getting upset, think that there's too much propaganda around the ECAO matter, that the UPND media team is doing nothing about it. As a result of that particular police direction that no one should talk about it. So I could see them banning that we are doing nothing. There's just too much propaganda. Why don't we get other people to come and rebut this propaganda? I feel I share the pain that many citizens have, and they're asking, how else can we move? We thought that these people are discussing. Other people have decided to go to court. What are we doing? You see, I share the same pain with citizens, and now people are asking. Now, I think we had some blog from the PF suggesting that Makebi Zulu, the former first family, have agreed to cremate the body. Citizens are saying, what is this? Why do they want to do something that we have never done against any head of state? They are saying, is there anything that they do not want us to see on the body, that they should bring ashes here?
Maybe the question is why the insistence for President Hichilema to be.
You flip it on the other side. Why is it now?
Both sides are important, actually.
Yeah, I am answering for both sides. And the point is that why is it that the body should not be seen but ashes should be seen?
Why should the body be seen by the president? Maybe
now, also the point we are trying to raise is that who said the president wants to see the body?
But Mr.
No. I want us to be very fair.
Yes,
I'm coming.
I'm providing context to your question.
Yes, we must be very fair. I know how the conversations have been tilting. At the end of the day, you paint the innocent president black. Have you ever seen the president saying he wants to see the body? Have you ever heard him say that? Did we ever hear any chief government spokesperson saying the president wants to see the body?
Do you know the main issue over this case, Mr. Simuuwe?
No. Now, I'm asking those questions not to you, but to all of us as a country.
No, but I'm also...
Now, because... And then also, as I ask that question, we need to reflect as citizens. Why have we concluded and taken it that the president must see the body? And who said it?
Because the program that was released...
Now, the point is that...
indicates that the president wanted to be there.
Yes, because the reaction was unforeseeable. Do you get the point? We thought when someone has died, people must mourn. And presidents have been attending funerals. It's a normal practice, which has been questioned.
But if there's a wish that you don't be there, why not just grant the deceased wish?
And when there has been a wish that he should not be there, I have not heard government saying the president will be there.
The program.
No, I'm saying there was a reaction to the program. I agree with you. But have you heard the president saying he's going to be there or he will not be there?
Just make a program without the president's name there.
No, but who said he's going to be there?
The program that was released.
Now, assuming now that I'm saying, this is what I'm saying, that because there's been a narrative that he must see the body. No one said that. And I'm trying to contextualize matters that let us have fair debates in the country. We must have fair debates. I want to ask you a question. The body is brought to this country and then it becomes a state funeral. I'm sure you know when you say state visit. When former heads or heads of state in the region want to come and attend the funeral, I want you to understand the complexity of this funeral. When heads of state in the region wants to attend the funeral, the one who should receive them is President HH.
You can delegate.
Not
the way
wait a minute.
This one is so special.
Wait a minute. The one who is supposed to receive them is the president.
He can't delegate.
Now wait a minute. I'm saying it's the president. When the president is not there, it is called an official funeral. When the vice president of the US came, it was not a state funeral. I mean, it was not a state visit. It was an official visit. A state visit requires presidents, not delegation. Did you know that?
You can still
you
can still
the
give
moment
you can still give someone a dignified and using the words of the president. He says, "I want my brother to be given a dignified send-off."
I'm giving a position of law. When heads of states are visiting, it is called state visit. The moment they get the vice president, it's called an official visit. The head of state has died. It is a state funeral. That's the complexity. But you can also decide to come out of the complexity. Because the president has not said, it's a must, I must see the body. It is the people that are saying, why does he want to see the body?
Let him just respond then that, look, I'll not be there.
Then here is the issue. No, here is the issue. And then others are saying, we don't want him to see the body, so we are going to take ashes. Then we asked, we are Africans.
Well,
I'm
coming.
Those, have you heard what I've said?
Yeah.
We are Africans.
But he has refuted. So that
can I make a point?
That has been.
Yeah, I'm saying. We are Africans. We are Africans. Paul. How many times have I called you? We are Africans. If you refuse that I should never be in attendance, you ask questions. And citizens now asking questions. Can we be taught what we do not know? Which we must know. And now questions are rising. Is this person dead? Why don't you put the matter to rest? So that we end speculations. Anyway, I wanted to speak to the issues in that context. But the point is, we shall receive an official position from the secretary to the cabinet. He will come and tell the nation. Perhaps maybe from the party point of view, we could be making a clarion call that at this stage, it is important that the secretary to the cabinet updates the nation, at least even on a weekly basis. Let them agree with the other party. It is not right for him to remain quiet for 1 month because it is creating anxiety.
I agree.
That is the point. Thank you.
Mr. Simuuwe, I want to appreciate you for finding time to come through on tonight's edition of Oxygen of Democracy.
Thank you, brother.
This is where we wrap up tonight's edition of Oxygen of Democracy. My guest, UPND Media Director Mark Simuuwe. Being your host, my name is Paul Shingongo. Back again next week at the same time, 20:45 to 22 hours. Good night.